Let's get more on the formation of a government this afternoon and getting the call from the president and Mr. Samaras trying to have the coalition talks. Let's bring in Spyros Ριζόπουλος. He's the head of Spin Communications here in Athens. Has been following the movements and the discussions taking place with the various coalition members. Nice to have you back, and we appreciate your analysis. What is actually taking place beyond the formalities of the president of the parliament taking the results to the president, and the president calling Mr. Samaras this afternoon to form a government? What's happening on the phone right now with Mr. Samaras and the other two key parties he wants to form a coalition with?
Last night, I don't know if you noticed all the statements, everyone was extremely careful, but everyone called for unity. Even Tsipras's statement called exactly for a way where we protect all Greek interests. However, my interpretation is that Tsipras will not join this coalition government. On the other hand, all conversations between Samaras, Venizelos, and Kouvelis, the other two parties that have formed a pro-European agenda on the way to the 17th election, seem to be getting very close to a deal as fast as necessary. The important thing here is for all parties to understand, and I mean all parties, I don't only mean in Greece, also in Europe, that a bailout program was put together, and somewhat this bailout program did not succeed in the way expected. So a conversation of re-examination of this process, and you spoke about a window here of a breather. The breather is not only in terms of time, is also the ability to assist this country in putting together a more aggressive development package as just one gathering money. That's it.
But first things first, though, trying to get this coalition together. PASOK, Mr. Venizelos was very clear he wanted Syriza in it. Now, the motivations, if you're looking from the outside world looking in, you would say, this looks like nasty party politics. What's he after here? Is that because Syriza is going after the center-right, or at least the center of the party?
John, the center-up is for grabs.
Yeah,
the center-left is up for grabs.
And the potential
However, Venizelos is making a mistake here now.
Yeah.
You know, Venizelos is looking way down the road. He's probably considering the fact that should things don't go well in 90, 120 days, he'll be able to say that, you know what, I said 120 days ago that Syriza should join and I was right. Well, the voters won't care at that point. We are way ahead of ourselves right now. We need to form a government. Venizelos seems to be changing mind overnight. I don't anticipate that there's going to be a problem. This is clear, and I feel that we should just be optimistic about this, and probably by the end of the day tomorrow we'll have a government.
Kev, you know, the international investors are not so optimistic right now. They actually say, can these people come out with one voice? Say PASOK and the Democratic left don't agree with Mr. Samaras, and Samaras has to go at it alone as a minority government, getting the kind of the green light on his policies, and they let him do what he needs to do to get passage to Brussels. That's a potential option that's on the table still.
John, there's no plan B. There's
You're
no
saying
plan
they
B.
have to go with the coalition.
There's no plan B.
Okay.
This is it.
Okay, so there's been some very nasty fights, though, and that's the problem.
It's party politics.
I know, but they swept it under the table or not? Because Mr. Samaras is the one that pushed out Mr. Papandreou, you know, in November and December of last year. Do you think PASOK could actually work with New Democracy?
John, I've been campaigning for 18 years with clients. The faster they forget what they said on the election cycle, the faster they move ahead as they govern. I don't think it's tough to put it under the rug. The need for unity is much larger. Investors, of course, the last 2 years, having seen the performance of the bailout, are skeptical. No one can say that there shouldn't be skeptical. However, let's look ahead, let's look forward, and I feel we should be optimistic about this process.
Okay, final thing, we're getting the message from Germany is we're not giving the Greeks any leeway. We're not changing the memo of austerity and reform. Is anybody being realistic within Europe right now for the preservation of the euro?
Let's have a government, let's have them sit down, and hopefully we'll hear something different on both sides. What Europe needs to understand, even more than ever, is that this may seem as a Greek problem. At the end of the day, altogether, it's a European Union problem, and I really don't buy the story saying that it's very easy to isolate Greece from this and have the European Union move on solidly. It's not easy.
Okay. Nice to have you back, huh? Spyros Ριζόπουλος.
Thank you, John.
My pleasure. Spin Communications. Dina?